She was a murderer who had stabbed her teacher 18 times, a complete psycho who wasn't even afraid of the prison guards. Belle, on the other hand, was a well-behaved young woman who had been wrongfully imprisoned. On her first day working in the prison library, Belle happened to pick out one of the psycho's favorite books. It didn't take long for the woman to notice that her precious book was missing and someone was using it to block the sunlight. The moment Belle heard her voice, she quickly stood up and remembered the headline she had seen in the newspaper. She couldn't believe she had just come face to face with the killer herself. Terrified, Belle suddenly lost the ability to speak and obediently picked up the book about growing roses. Unsure of what to do, Belle had no idea that this so-called psycho would later become the person who saved her life. As a young and innocent-looking newcomer, Belle quickly became a target for one of the prison gangs. Just when she thought there was no way out and that she was going to die, the psycho happened to be released from solitary confinement. While a game of cat and mouse unfolded in the cafeteria, the gang's second-in-command was busy throwing her weight around. The psycho carried 2 trays of food through the crowded room, then sat directly in Belle's escape path. A second later, the panicked little rabbit crashed straight into her. After a brief exchange of glances, the psycho turned around, and the second-in-command immediately lost some of her confidence. Belle nervously watched to see how she would react, but the second-in-command wasn't the type to make empty threats and soon came up with a plan that would take care of 2 problems at once. That very night, she put it into action. During the guards' rounds, she slowly approached the cell door with her makeup perfectly done. After that, the rookie guard suddenly began moving through his rounds much faster. Once the cell lights went out, he quietly returned alone. Not only did he unlock the second-in-command cell, he even handed over the keys. The gang immediately released the rest of their crew. Under the dim cover of night, the group marched toward Belle's cell block as if they owned the entire prison. The moment the other inmates saw the sinister group, they knew the little rabbit had no chance of escaping tonight. Belle realized it too. Meanwhile, the rookie guard picked up his baton and headed toward the psycho who had nearly strangled him to death. He swore he would beat her until she was permanently crippled. The psycho stepped forward willingly. What the guard didn't understand was that there was a reason everyone called her a psycho. She was terrifyingly strong. She stared back at him without the slightest expression, and the blood pouring down only made her more excited. From that moment on, the guard's death was inevitable. She grabbed the baton and forced it back against him, leaving the rookie guard seeing stars. Her elderly cellmate trembled in fear. The more frightened the guard became, the more excited the psycho grew. In another cell, Belle was facing the exact opposite situation. She had been forced into a corner. After struggling to find an opening, she finally slipped through a gap and ran to the door, screaming for help, but no guards came. Instead, the women grabbed her and pinned her down. The second-in-command punched Belle in the stomach, then handed her over to the gang's enforcer. Every time the enforcer looked at Belle's beautiful face, she wanted to destroy it. The familiar sounds echoed throughout the cell block and eventually reached the psycho's ears. By then, Belle was in so much pain that she could no longer stand. So the second-in-command ordered her people to drag Belle back into the cell and keep beating her. Belle's screams had already faded into weak, painful moans.